What's going on, great friends, and welcome into the StreamYard studio, home of the J Trey Podcast. I am Justin. I got 2 hours set for you guys this morning. Um, you guys been telling the last couple of days where um, that this is a more of a personal dedication show for me today, especially today. But as a matter of fact, all week long, and I'll get into that a little bit. Listen, we are proud to be using StreamYard. If you guys like to try StreamYard your own on yourselves to create your own podcasts or videos, uh, check out StreamYard.com for more information. Woo! Gosh, apologize there. That's going to be, well, so you wake up early in the morning. And I can tell you, I apologize for the late start. Uh, Early in the morning, computer difficulties. I think it took like an hour to get my computer updated and has to go through all that fun stuff. So, I also want to give a quick shout out to Placeit. Create your own mock-ups, logos, and videos through Placeit. Places by Envato, you guys. Um, that's where we use all of our uh, logos. And if you're looking to create your own mock-up design for merchandise, Placeit is the place to go. Head on over to placeit.net and give them a shout. Also, like to give a quick shout out to Canva that makes video editing simple. They create and edit videos for your pleasure, just like you see on our little commercial breaks. Canva, check them out as well. Also, like to give a quick shout out to Epidemic Sound. Discover your world class artists, composers, and bands. Find your perfect soundtrack and give your social media accounts the music they deserve. Epidemic Sound is a royalty free music link. They license your music so you don't have to get worried about copyrights. Also, Stream Elements. With one click of a button, easily create and start selling your merchandise today. It's that simple, you guys. I know there's other places out there, but I got to give a shout out to Stream Elements. When I found them, they give us templates, they give us items to choose from. All we have to do is a credit account. It's free to upload whatever you want to sell on there, and then they really do the rest for you. They make your domain. You send people to the web page, and then all you got to do is they'll buy it. They'll make it to order. They'll send it out to the customer, and they'll cut you the profit after it. So Stream Elements is the place to go. All right. Today's big focus on conversation-wise is the concept of people giving up on each other too quickly. We see this in the Major League Baseball world. We see this in the NFL. We even see this in the WWE and in wrestling. So we will kind of break that down today. I think that's going to be the overall general concept. So without further ado, let's not waste any more time and let's start the J Trey Podcast. Oh, God. Starts now. What's going on, great friends? Welcome back to Inside the J Trey Podcast. Welcome. We're inside the StreamYard studio. Listen, I apologize for the delay of start, but we have had ourselves some updating issues that's caused us to delay a little bit. Listen, I'm finally getting over this cough, and man, I am it kind of just sets a bad mood. But you know what? We're going to turn that around. We're going to turn that around here in a minute. I've mentioned this previously on our show. I want to get some things out of the way, and I want to talk about something that's kind of more dear and personal to me. Jake has given me the privilege and acceptance to kind of take this opening segment to talk about this. I got a whole bunch of sports to talk about with you guys today, but we're going to take this moment on this show because today is a very special day for me, and I'll explain that in a moment. If you guys are watching us on YouTube, we like to thank you, welcome you guys into our studio. All right. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And also leave us a comment, interact with us, let us know what you guys think of our show, comment on some of our topics that we talk about, and get involved. We do read them. If you guys can't check us out on YouTube, we are also available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast as well. So there's no reason why you can't take us with you on the road wherever you guys go. Just check out TNC Sports Talk. Um, all right. We are also on social media. You guys can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, all at TNC Sports Talk. You could also check out our merchandise page at merch.streamelements.com /JJ Talk Show. Once again, that is merch.streamelements.com /JJ Talk Show. Listen, I want to give a couple other quick shout outs to some people that we know. I just want to give a quick shout out to Armchair Booking, is another local local podcast available on all audio streaming services. They're also available on YouTube as well. They just started putting up their videos on YouTube. You can check out Armchair Booking with Steve Barber and Dwaylon Davis breaking down wrestling news and stories on their channel. I know I do. I enjoy it. It's part of my everyday listen as well. I check them out all the time. I'd recommend checking them out. They're on a few times a week. Also want to give a quick shout out, and this is because I listen to other podcasts. Yes, when I'm at work, I have to listen to other podcasts in order to help me continue to discover stories to talk about here. So I don't have time all throughout my day just to sit out on the computer or sit on my phone and find stories. I also listen to them, and then that way I kind of get the idea of what is important and what needs to be said and done. So with that being said, I listen to a lot of San Diego radio. I listen to a radio that's available on YouTube. On YouTube also, they're called the Kaplan and Crew. I remember going back all along, years ago, where they're called the Scott and BR Show. Things have changed. Show has changed. They're called the Kaplan and Crew. They're available on YouTube. They're also on all audio streaming services. And they are on the channel of Mightier 1090 in San Diego. So the reason why I want to give them a shout out because they mentioned that now their station is affiliated with ESPN. So they also basically ESPN is now going to be aired on their channel, on their radio station, as well as ESPN games. So I want to just give a quick shout out and congratulations to them as well. All right. That being said, I got 2 hours for you guys today. I think we're gonna have a pretty well show. I know yesterday was a good show, and I think that's pretty much it. I'll get more into all that other stuff in a little bit later. I've been talking about recently, the last couple of days, that this week is a very special week for me. We are honoring for me in a Great Lake person that I can honestly call probably one of my best friends in the world, to say this. And today marks the ninth year passing of my like I said, I call it best friend, actually family member. And I wouldn't probably be here where I'm at doing this show with an amazing team if it wasn't through the leadership and the support that I was given in my younger days by my uncle. And today would mark 9 years since he's left this world, this universe, to move on. And let me tell you something. When it came down to, he's my father's brother, and he lived in San Diego with us growing up. And he was a huge, I say huge, he was a huge Chargers fan. He also loved the Padres. He also enjoyed wrestling as well. And we, he was the firstborn. I was the firstborn. And there was just a connection growing up with him. We always got together and we called ball games. Well, not called ball games. We discussed ball games. We discussed news, sports, football, wrestling, and we wouldn't just talk about it. We would have debates. We would have arguments. Hey, I thought I was right. He thought he was right, and we went at it. I mean, it was mostly, a Skip and Shannon episode on Undisputed on Sports Center, ESPN. Like literally, this was all down the base. Whenever me and my father got into disagreements and arguments, he was always right there, picked me up when I was down, kind of just did a lot of things. Remember all the ball games that we went to together. He was known for going to Padres games back in the day. Back when first Petco Park was created, we would go to Padres games every Sunday. And it was a tradition. We would wake up at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. We would head down to the trolley at Qualcomm, take the trolley station, like an hour trolley bus down to Petco Park outside Convention Center, walk over. We get nosebleed seats up there with the military because the Petco Park, the Padres do a tribute to the troops in a sense where every Sunday home games, they not only they wear camouflage, but they have a group of military, whether it's National Guard, Marine, Navy, Air Force. They would have a group that actually gets free tickets to go up and have a whole section to themselves. So we would actually sit next to them all the time, get the nosebleed seats. He would go walk around the stadium. We would watch the game. He actually got me into I know this is weird. I don't know. Let me know if this is weird for you guys. But have you ever been to a ball game and still had to listen to it on the radio just so that you had audio commentary? Yeah, that's what he kind of got me into. And honestly, I mean, it's a whole tie connection because that's kind of where I got into the radio business. That's where I fell in love with the radio because I didn't get Channel 4. I told this story. I tell this story on this show all the time. I didn't get Channel 4 where the Padres aired their baseball games on. And I was more of a baseball fan. I'm still more of a baseball fan than anything else. So I got to sit down and listen to guys like Jerry Coleman, Ted Leitner, Uncle Teddy, still calling games. Still calling games. Man, listen, they had phenomenal stories. Then I got a chance to listen to Coach John Quintero pregame and postgame show. So, and I think this was really thanks to my uncle. And, we would do a lot of things. Several years ago, a few years before his passing, they moved up to Riverside, which is about an hour drive away from where down in San Diego. Well, he would take us got us into minor league baseball. First ever time I heard of single A baseball. I mean, I've heard of Lake Elsinore Storm, but the affiliation with exactly what they do, and I loved it so much that we went down to a few games. I got a chance to. And he was an open person. He would talk to anyone. He would have great conversations with anyone, and he would. We would actually sit down. I remember one day we're sitting down at a ball game that he's taken us to, and we're sitting right next to, we're actually sitting right next to Alex Dickerson. I don't know if you guys, I know Jake's in the studio. If you guys don't know Alex Dickerson, he's a free agent right now, but he was the outfielder for the San Francisco Giants. And I remember we were sitting down and we were talking with Alex Dickerson's parents. Yeah. His father was at the game. And me and my uncle, and we sat next to him all day, game long, and had a great conversation. Great memories. I tell you that, to say the least. And it's kind of remorse because I exactly know, there's no vague memory. There's actually descriptive memory on the day and all the scenarios that happened leading up to the incident of his passing. It's unfortunate. And just due to some health reasons, I lost him 9 years ago today. Now, the reason why I call him my best friend is because, like I said, whenever I was in doubt, whenever I was in trouble, whenever I needed somebody there, he was there. There was no question about it. You didn't have, it was more like that spidey sense, in that sense of conversation. If you knew, like he kind of picked up, hey, listen, maybe let's go pay a visit. Had a lot of great things. As a matter of fact, this Sean Merriman jersey that you see up behind me, up on the wall, is actually a collection of his. He has a Phillip Rivers jersey also. I just decided not to put that one up there. I like this one better. And then, he has a couple of other T-shirts and shirts that I was able to collect afterwards. And I'm fortunate enough to have, like, for example, he actually had a PlayStation game, the actual video console. I still have that. I used to play it all the time when I went to my grandmother's house. And now, in honor of getting a chance to have at least that type of connection, that type of, remembrance of him in the past. So, listen, I know I'm lagging on for 16 minutes here, but I honestly say with all the debates, all the conversations that, me and him had over the years wouldn't leave me. Last year when I was complexing and starting this channel, this was one of the reasons why I really pushed to start this channel, was because of it. So, I appreciate Trey. I appreciate Jake for allowing me to take this opening segment and to allow you guys to bring you guys into this world and talk to you guys about what is true to my heart at the end of the day. And listen, 9 years. I just can't imagine 9 years. But I know if he's probably up there right now. He's probably been up there talking with Jerry, talking with Tony Gwynn, talking with some of these greats that we see all the time. So I'm almost a little jealous. But I know if he was down here, he would be having a blast. As a matter of fact, he'd probably be on the show quite often, also just to have another conversations. Just appreciate everyone letting me come on and let me express my gratitude and my side of the story. So, all right. So listen, we're going to cut to a break. I feel like that's the only best thing to do here. When we come back, I got some breaking news coming out of the NFL. Jake, I don't know if Jake's heard of this one yet, but we will find out when we return. You're listening to the J Trey Podcast.
I won't make it easy for you now. You got 2 minutes of my time, and I don't really break too easily, but I'm worth it, 'cause I'll slip into your dreams tonight. Oh, so give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind. Just watch me breaking your sweat. You're falling into me, touch me. I swear you would do anything that I want to keep us awake till the dawn. Baby, feel free. I wanna make you sweat on me. I wanna make you sweat on me. I got you wrapped around my finger, but don't you try to call me tomorrow. There's nothing personal in having a little fun. You wait and see if it's worth your while. So give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind. Just watch me breaking your sweat. You're falling into me, touch me. I swear you would do anything that I want to keep us awake till the dawn. Baby, feel free. I wanna make you sweat on me. I wanna make you sweat on me. push all the limits with you right now. Gotta get it right now. Yeah, push all the limits with you right now. Gotta get it right now. Yeah, push all the limits with you right now.
Alrighty, you guys. Let's get our heads on clear. Let's come back into the studio. And let's have a great show, you guys, today. With that being said, without further ado, let's bring in. I say, listen, everyone has his role. This guy brings in and fills in the show completely. The one, the only, and I say the only because he is the one and only, Jake. Jake, how are you doing, young man?
I am doing good, and big day for me today because why? Because before I get to that, I want to say a huge shout out. There's another podcast I also listen to, and you guys head over to YouTube, check out Mom's Basement MMA. They have some incredible interviews with some incredible fighters. Also, later on today, while you guys are on YouTube, head over to Hennessy Performance League. Why? Because tonight it is our season opener. Live tonight for the Xfinity Series at 7:20 Eastern Time. I call not only one race, but two races for the Xfinity, and then later on the Cup Series. I had the truck race last night, and I tell you one thing: whenever if I'm having a race or if I'm doing broadcast or commentary, I always get myself prepared. So like the whole entire day yesterday and probably today, I'll just be like listening to music. Another thing I'm really excited about for me, like musically. Skillet's got a new album coming out tomorrow, so there's like a lot of crazy, great things that I'm ready for, but also get a chance to be here on the show with you for today, tomorrow, Saturday. I mean, it's just been a week full of events for me, but you know what?
Oh gosh,
I'm very excited.
You're gonna be busy, man. I tell you that you're really busy. All right. So you when are you racing? You racing Saturday or?
I raced last night in our truck season opener. Which, by the way, I want to send a shout out to the truck guys because that race, I mean, it had its moments, but at the same time, it was a great race. Shout out to my team in Roush with Fluffy Sacks and Dallator. We had a great run, to say the least, and I can't wait to see how the guys do it tonight. I know the defending Cup Series champion, always Joker, is going to be prepared for his race tonight because hey, Cup Series and the Xfinity race. I mean, what more can you ask for? I mean, and plus I get a chance to have the best commentary booth there is. I get a chance to do the Xfinity race with one of my best friends, and then I get a chance to do the Cup Series race with someone who I consider probably like one of those guys who is like the clown, like the school like the how would you say is the class clown, if you would say. But he's a great guy though. But I'm excited because this is a really big opportunity for the guys here at the Hennessy Performance League.
So you're broadcasting tonight.
Yeah, at 7.
I believe. Yesterday, broadcast tonight. So you're broadcasting on the Hennessy YouTube channel.
Yes, on the Hennessy Performance. I think it's like the Hennessy Performance Racing League, I believe. But yeah, you guys can check it out. I will pretty much broadcast, and I'll try to be able to send the links to any of our social medias. I know I posted it on Instagram, so make sure you head over to Instagram, and that's where it'll take you to the YouTube page. So going to be a great night tonight because you know why? Because it's Daytona. I mean, Daytona last night pretty much showed that you had to be able to work with a lot of people. I know I got a chance to work with a lot of guys who we worked really good with. I will say this: if you guys check out my stream over at Code Red Do 520's YouTube channel, you can see me get frustrated a lot. Which I had my moments, but at the same time though, it was like hey, you get just to start the season off with the top 10. So I mean, I'm not really putting my head down, but hey, you want to be able to win. You want to be able to win, and I couldn't ask for a great race, a great team. Roush, we definitely have a great group of guys, and I look forward to seeing how the Xfinity does because to me, I mean, over the last couple of seasons in this league, the Xfinity series has always been to me, it's been always one of those fun series where it gets really interesting. I know, last season we had Tiger NASCAR winning the championship, and then the year before last, Soaps won it. it's going to be interesting. Plus, a Cup Series champion going from Cup down to Xfinity, and that's going to be a lot of game changer for this series this season. So, I mean, a lot of different changes, but hey, we're still bringing you guys the same incredible NASCAR Heat content, Racing League at its finest, and I want to send a shout out to Mayhem Tomorrow, to Riley, to Joker, to all the admins out there who try their best to be able to put on such an incredible racing league for all of the drivers. They do a lot of different stuff too. I know we have a 2K league, and I also know we also do some Among Us stuff. So make sure you guys head over to our YouTube page, Hennessy Performance League. I know Justin's like, okay, because he found stuff, but I'm gonna leave it right there.
No, I mean, I find it just fascinating how clear, or just how much, like you talk about like actual NASCAR, a live event, go people actually attending to it. You're talking about a video game, and it is exciting. I've been there, I've done that, I've been a part of
Yeah,
baseball leagues and whatnot. So definitely stuff that you're doing. I mean, plus if you think about this is a whole. You're not just putting on a. You're not just racing. You're also broadcasting it. You're also doing all this other fun stuff involved. That I mean, it's a
yeah,
big community, and the people in the in the racing world and the gamer world should definitely be checking it out. So I know I'll be tuning in from time to time, checking out. We're going to be
yeah,
talking about it on the show as well. I mean, we talked about your big week. You have a really big week. Just with a
yeah.
lot of stuff going on YouTube, you got your personal work, your personal life. You got this, you got all your racing leagues coming up this week. You got a show. We're back tomorrow morning. We're
Yeah,
back on
yeah.
Saturday from 1 to 3. We're not
And
only doing a
plus,
3-hour episode on Sunday. It looks like we're going to be actually coming back here on this channel and giving you guys the Eagles and 49ers game for those who can't
Buccaneers.
watch it on TV. Oh, Buccaneers, sorry.
Yeah,
For those
you're
who
good.
can't watch the game. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this week alone.
Another thing is that we also do. I don't know if you heard of F1 or like the Indy cars, but yet
Yeah.
tomorrow night at like 10, like about 9:55 ish, we go live for the F1 series. I'll also be doing that. So it's definitely gonna be a lot of racing. I know Hennessy does a lot of incredible streams, so make sure you guys head over to that for tonight. And it's gonna be a late race tomorrow. I mean, they always do this late, but hey, it's a chance for you guys to be able to come out and check out some incredible racing. I know last week we was at Bahrain, and I want to send a shout out to Hell State because he did such an incredible job up in the I guess you could say the F1 commentary booth with me. There's been so many incredible guys in this league that has the capable of either racing or broadcasting. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better group of guys than what you have on this league. I mean, I know I do stuff for Thunder Valley Racing League, and I love those guys too. But it's like Hennessy Performance League is like they do a lot. They try to be able to do a lot just to bring out the inner racing fan. And I feel like this is a blessing in disguise because there's a lot of people that want to be able to tune in to like racing leagues, whether it be in NASCAR or F1, and that Hennessy Performance League is actually the best place for you to do that. And I remember my first season joining Hennessy. It was me and my buddy Masopes, and it was like late in the season during the playoffs. We got a chance to call the Talladega race. And the moment that me and him first joined, it was like something that was meant to be because we make friendships. I couldn't ask for the friendships I have in the league than what I got. It just goes to show how much of a dysfunctional racing family this group of guys can be. So it's incredible, and I can't wait for tonight. I mean, the Xfinity Series needs to hurry up because I know I'll definitely be excited about it, and I know I'll definitely need a lot of Mountain Dew because this is gonna be not one race, but two races I got to call tonight. So it's gonna be a great one.
I swear to you, by the amount of Mountain Dew that you drink and all this Mountain Dew you promote, you need to get a sponsor with Mountain Dew.
I
You
mean,
need
bro.
Mountain Dew to sponsor
I
you and
mean,
sponsor
I have
something.
that. I have that. I don't know if you can see it, but I have that mini fridge here. So yeah, it's filled with
Yeah.
with that spark, which is like raspberry lemonade. So it's definitely great to say the least. But I know I will tell you this: I know Mountain Dew is getting ready to release Mountain Dew alcohol. So I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna be crazy on that. I'm not gonna be crazy on that.
No, just no. Don't convert. Mountain Dew's already bad enough for you. I mean, I love it. The thing is, it's like, okay, so let me ask you this: you know all the flavors to Mountain Dew, I bet, huh? Do you like? Is there a specific Mountain Dew flavor that you like? Do you like the? I don't know the names. I'm just gonna. Do you like the green, red, blue?
So back then, Mountain Dew actually started doing this competitions. It was like Pitch Black, Typhoon, and Whiteout. And whenever I was little, they had it's kind of like a fruit punch flavor. Typhoon was like so great, and then they started, let's say Whiteout won the contest, which tastes like Sprite, and then Pitch Black was really good too. But Typhoon was one of my favorites. As far as like current day, outside of the Mountain Dew Baja Blast, which you get to talk about, which will be released in bottles in the summer. I gotta say,
Code Red. Don't make that public.
Hey! Everyone loves the Baja Blast, but anyways, I guess you could say Code Red is definitely my favorite, along with Voltage, and Frostbite is definitely growing on me as well. It's definitely growing on me.
Gosh, man, like they even got like a pink. I don't know, and I apologize. I just don't know the flavors off the top of my head. But you got the blue one, you got the blue one. You got the red one.
But Voltage.
Like a watermelon.
Orange one, Lime Wire.
Man, there's just so many.
Watermelon's really good. The watermelon's really good.
There's just so many like Mountain Dews, and like there's this. I don't know if this was on TikTok or YouTube, but like years ago, there was this guy that just drank those bottles, like those regular bottles, like one after the other in one sitting. I'm like, it could be so bad for you. I tell you that. Like I drink Coke and I'll drink Dr. Pepper, and maybe I should move to diet stuff.
Let me ask you this. I want to put you on the spot, and I want any of our viewers to answer this. What do you prefer though, Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
So
I will drink either one of them, but for me, Pepsi is just it good. I don't know if that's it becomes flat so quickly.
Yeah.
Like Coke, I could buy Coke at work and let it sit there all day long, and it'll still taste like Coke at the end of the day. Compared to Pepsi, it wouldn't taste like a bittery.
Well, I will tell you this though. Even though like Mountain Dew is like the only great Pepsi product, I have to say Coke on this one, because considering the fact that there's one flavor that they currently have out. Anytime I go to like a gas station,
you want to know an interesting fact about Coke and Pepsi?
What's up?
So, that polar bear that's been promoted for Coke, that's been used
for a long time, yeah.
Well, it used to be originally Pepsi that used the white polar bear.
Really?
I'm talking about way back in the day.
Like 70s, 80s?
Oh, further. I mean,
wow.
Yeah.
Well,
the polar bear was actually originally a Pepsi product, and then there was a moment where Pepsi and Coke actually merged companies with making both the same product, and then when Coke brought off, Coke actually took that polar bear.
Well, if you, I'm definitely give you a suggestion on this one to any of our viewers. If you guys go to a gas station, find either vanilla Coke or cherry vanilla Coke. I
love vanilla Coke. I used to drink cherry Coke. I love vanilla Coke. The one thing I used to be a big fool for, I used to do half and half, or like combination. Yeah, I used to do like 1/3 Pepsi, 2/3 Coke. Maybe a little splash of Dr. Pepper in there. But that's the other thing too. Let me ask you this. There's different kinds of root beer. There's A&W. There's that. I don't know. It starts with a B.
I'll say it's like I think there's Mugs or
there's Mugs, A&W. Is it Bach or? I don't know.
It was like I think it was like some sort of like
More of a Coke product, I think.
More of a Coke product, and to me that I'm like, to me, I'd rather go with AEW
I
because
love a good root beer too.
That's one thing I always loved is like I love to grab a 2-liter Coke, grab some ice cream, grab a glass, and make yourself a Coke float. I mean, couldn't ask for anything better. But I actually have a crazy story to tell you.
I'm actually, when it comes down to ice cream, unless it's flavored ice cream, if I'm just having vanilla ice cream, I'm that crazy person that needs to put blackberries on it.
I was
Like,
gonna say
you're.
I'll say, are you a big ice cream fan?
No. Like
I was
I
gonna
will eat ice
say,
cream. Like I literally just bought a small tub of ice cream the other day for 2 weeks, and I bought it like back on Saturday, and I just opened it up last night. I threw some. It was just vanilla ice cream. I just threw some blackberries on there because I mean I don't really like extra stuff. I don't like sprinkles. I don't like fudge on it. I mean, but when I eat ice cream, I'll usually get flavor like cookies and cream or mint and chip or, hey,
yeah.
Rocky Road will still do the trick. I know my dad was a big fan of Rocky Road. I used to hate Rocky Road ice cream. I couldn't stand marshmallows and chocolate ice cream.
I was gonna say, if you guys are like interested in ice cream, I literally just bought a like a small box of this ice cream.
Yeah.
2 of my favorite cookies, Chips Ahoy and Oreos. They actually have one in like one mix, like one side Chips Ahoy, the other side Oreos, and I gotta tell y'all, it is really really
I
good.
used
So
to
yeah,
do those like I love like a good drumstick.
oh yeah, I love, oh
And
yeah, love. I love me a good drumstick, but
you know how much
I,
promotions we're getting for how cold it is outside right now, and then we're promoting ice cream.
I know, right? I know. I mean, it won't be long until we ended up talking about snow cones in the hot summer.
Hey, we're going to be talking about hot soup in the summertime.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. I mean, we
So,
got a
all
lot of
right.
stuff.
So and I want to apologize. We got off to a delay start, 10 minutes delay, because literally I got onto this program when I actually logged into the computer at 9 o'clock, and it wanted to do nothing but updates. So literally, like I finally got into the computer with 5 minutes left, and I'm like, please work, please work, please work. This is how new. This is how badly I need a new laptop, like so bad. And I'm going to be getting one hopefully by the end of this month. But I mean, I can't. It's just I'm hoping so bad. I need a new laptop.
I mean, you got to be able to have the hope stuff. So, man,
Right. I mean,
already, I'll tell you this though. This week has gotten crazy. Whether if it's football, wrestling, I mean, just wow. Wow,
and it gets
boys.
crazier because I got some. So all right. So let's talk about this before we head to break, because then I want to share some breaking news with you coming in this morning about NFL. So
Yeah.
I'm actually very excited today. Now we talk about baseball, right? We talk about yesterday how the owners and the PA, which is Players Association, are supposed to be meeting today to try to MLB or the owners are offering a counter offer to the PA, and we will see what the response is. Now, here's the implication because obviously MLB's on lockdown,
Yeah.
and we're not worried about the delay of the season. But if you think about it, once they do come to an agreement, they it's going to take a couple of days to get people from out of the country to get visas to come over here to start playing. Then they got to come over here and they got to spend a couple of weeks. Now, if you ask a single player in MLB, hey, are you worried about spring training? A lot of them say like no. Like there's 7 weeks of spring training. They don't need 7 weeks to get ready for a season.
Yeah.
But you start and even the spring training is not an issue. But here's where the problem lies. The lockdown was effective December 2nd. It's been I want to say about 37 days since they have about, okay, let's come to an agreement. Let's talk about it. 41 days, something like that. And,
Yeah.
they haven't met. And the last time they saw each other was back on December 2nd when this whole lockdown went into play. It was a 7-minute meeting. And so now they're finally meeting for the very first time. Now, like I said, the ownership is offering something today to the Players Association. Now, we're not expecting at all for the Players Association to agree to anything. But here's the difference where I think people will start being worried if the PA comes in and says, nope, whatever you're offering, I don't want to hear about it. Don't care. It's not going to work out. Go back in the drawing board. That's when we start panicking. I think a lot of people will say it would be a good day if the PA could come in and say, you know what? I don't like what you guys are offering, but we could work with it. We could work with something. Like, we would have to get back to it. Like, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be done in like 2 days. Like, it's going to take
some sort of time. Yeah.
But they need to start the process now, because technically by the Tuesday after Valentine's Day, from my understanding, is when the pitchers and catchers are supposed to report. And I can tell you, it's going to be big come end of February into March, not only when we have to start worrying about WrestleMania, but when Major League Baseball opens up again and all the deals are being done at one time. We're going to have a lot to talk about. It's going to be, let's put on our big boy pants in March and we want to start grinding through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's a lot to look forward to with this whole thing. I'm pretty sure that after today, Justin's going to be able to provide you guys all the updates.
It may not be today. It may be more like the weekend as I get more reports in and follow this story. But it's just, man, it's been a gruesome time not to know anything about baseball and just to think how close the season is.
Yeah, and while you've been working on some MLB news, I actually have some very interesting NASCAR news I actually wanted to be able to share later on. It involves a former F1 driver / IndyCar driver. Sometimes we may not know these guys. My apologies for not knowing his name. But yet, this individual wants to join the field for the Daytona 500 when the season starts. So I look forward to that because, and no disrespect, but any previous F1 / IndyCar drivers have not really made the best in their time in NASCAR.
Yeah. Well, all right. So let's cut to a break. I got some NFL breaking news today. That's coming up to you next, right here on the J Trey Podcast.
Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way
up your mind like you need more time. You've already spent most of mine. Even when your words fail, you try to keep it light. You realize I'm done right. You can be honest. I don't appreciate your lies. It's about damn time you get it right. I'm up all night. You keep pretending.
I'm sorry. When I play this song, I just love that entrance to everything. All right. Hey, we're back into the studio. It is 10:56. We're actually going to take you 10 minutes past noon to fill in our 2-hour mark. All right. NFL news coming up your way. As a matter of fact, 2 NFL news. There's actually 3 stories, but one of them I'm actually saving for your 5 minutes of fame tomorrow in your segment, because we may have to talk about that tomorrow. But that one we're going to save for tomorrow. And I was like,
is it about?
No, we don't. I don't say nothing. I don't want to talk about it now. I don't want to talk about it. It broke yesterday. It's kind of like, come on, you guys. Like, really, out of the entire roster, you out of the entire availability. Oh my god.
Oh man.
But yeah,
what's the news that you have in store for us?
I think you know what I'm talking about, right?
Is it involving a certain team?
It's involving a certain team with you know who and the you know what. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. I don't want to say nothing more. We got Trey. It looks like I think Trey's going to join us tomorrow. Also.
Yeah, Trey will be joining us tomorrow. So
we're
we
not
just
going
have
to
him
plus actually Saturday, but I want to talk more about Raw tomorrow, and I want to talk a little bit about AEW, because Lance Archer and Hangman Page. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Right. Hold on. I want you to save all of that for tomorrow. I know you got to. The cat got to bite your tongue here. Save it for 24 hours.
24 hours needs to hurry up, because like there's a lot of stories that's happening in AEW that is like, Joe. I'm not gonna spoil anything for y'all, but yeah, if
I know, but the only reason why I really want to save it is because the fact that Trey came to us about the story is the fact that he watched it and he knew what happened, which is a bonus on top of knowing whatever's going on in Raw. And it's because of these are main storylines that we should be talking about this weekend. We will be talking about it. Plus, hey, tomorrow we'll have Trey takes on Jake again. So that will be something interesting to watch.
What's the topic going to be for tomorrow's game?
So I would actually tell you guys here in a minute. I actually have it written down. All right. So for the people who are following along, and if Trey has to actually watch this episode, so tomorrow is going to be about WWE, strictly in the WWE only. Then on Saturday, it's going to be about NCAA football.
All right. Hey, that's perfectly fine. That's fine.
The reason why I'm giving you heads up now is for if Trey tunes into today's episode, he could kind of work with NCAA football. Think of teams. NCAA football teams. That's all I'm asking you to think about.
I'm pretty sure.
Because I think you could nail this one. But I don't know if Trey has enough in his repertoire to nail it.
So I can honestly say this. I'll actually have this in the bag, because that's from one of my buddies, Dalator in Hennessy Performance League. He's a big college football fan. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the knowledge that he's got, he'd be able to hook me up with all that.
You know what? What I did forget to talk about this morning, and I have to talk about it. Hey, Trey and I went to Cavalcade this past weekend.
Yeah.
We got a couple extra Bryan Danielson autographs. Don't want to sell them. Don't want to make a profit. Not a single penny. We want to give them away for free. Jake, how do we do so?
Plain and simple. Go to our TikTok page at TNC Sports Talk. Be sure you guys head over to the pin post. There's 3 things you got to do. You guys got to follow us, comment, and share the video. That's the only thing you got to do. Whatever we announce.
You gotta follow us first. You got to comment that pin post. You got to like that
Yep.
pin post, and then you got to share that pin post.
No. You gotta share. You gotta share the pin post.
Right.
You gotta
Share,
share.
follow, share, like, and comment. 4 things.
Plain and simple. You have three simple ideas. The
No,
winner will be announced on
four
the.
ideas. 4 things you have to do.
Well, I mean, technically 3, because I mean, like we don't really like TikTok can't really give us like the time, like the thing for us to be able to see who liked it. So the only way we will check it out
Tell
is like
them that. Don't spoil it. I need them to do all 4 things.
don't do this again. Don't do. What is that? What is that?
No.
Oh, I swear, is he about to turn into Legally Blonde Girls? Like, is that where this is going with that sign? No. Excuse me while I go pour a bleach and soak them to my eyes. Don't ever do that again. I know Trey's gonna kick out of it. I know Trey's gonna get kicked out of it once when he watches this show later on. But my apologies. My apologies.
Fine.
I will find something to throw it at you if I could.
Oh God.
My Lord, Justin.
All right. So
What
if you guys want to qualify to win the Brian Danielson autograph, all you got to do is 4 things. Not 1, not 2, not 3 for 4, but simple. Head on to our TikTok page, right? TNC Sports Talk. You got to follow. That's the number 1 important thing. You got to find the pin post because we are making other promotional videos also. Find the pin post of Jake his little beautiful face, right? Promoting this product. You got to like it. You got to comment on it, and then you got to share it to somebody else. That's it. That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do for sure.
We've done nothing. We have not talked about a single thing in sports today in this house.
The crazy thing is that. I mean, like the crazy thing is, like that's what I love about this podcast. Is, like we could be able to go to like whatever we had planned, but then we also talk about something different. Yeah, I'm just really excited for what's to come. When we got the playoffs. I mean, we still got basketball going on. Later on, NASCAR is going to be coming back.
All right, we're going to get to the NFL news. We will get to it. I trust me. We will get to it before our break. But let me talk to you about the NFL news. Here's a question for you that did not make it in my top 5 for tomorrow for your 5 minutes of fame. And I don't really follow a lot of the NCAA basketball to say the least. I mean, I follow a little bit of the San Diego State's, but here's what even San Diego State's dealing with. Last game they played was against Colorado State. That was back on Saturday, which a ranked undefeated Colorado State. They beat them by 30 points. I talked about this over the weekend. That was phenomenal to see my team, the team I root for in college, be on CBS. I mean, and it's such a difficult time to see. You rarely see San Diego State on TV, but to be able to see it nationwide on TV. But then yet again, they were supposed to play against Wyoming yesterday. That was canceled. They're supposed to play this Saturday. They're canceled. It feels like they're being canceled. There's a lot of cancellations because of COVID protocols. So I guess my question to you is at what point, I mean, because they're just canceling the games, they're not postponing them. And I guess at what point do you say, okay, well, instead, if you can't show up and play the game because of COVID, you got to forfeit the game. You know what I'm saying? Because what do you expect these college teams to do? To play 4 games in 1 week? I mean,
I don't know, but yet all I can tell you is that the March Madness bracket, which here soon is get ready to come up. So yet I look forward to seeing what the NCAA is going to be able to do about all this. I mean, it's hard to say, but I mean, we'll probably see a lot of teams that we may know about, or what teams that we don't know about. So,
I mean, and that's what qualifies you to be in the March Madness tournament? Because for a lot of these teams can't play a lot of games because of COVID protocol. So if you're telling me that a team like San Diego State is not qualified because they don't have enough games played to qualify them, or you're telling me, hey, because a team that's only went 10-0 because all the other games are, out because of COVID, then did they qualify? I mean, where at what point is that standard being made? Like at this point, if you can't make up that game, you can't revisit that game, then either they need to take a forfeit, or they need to figure something out because now you want. I mean, I don't want to not have March Madness basketball, and this is probably the first year in a while since I've actually been intrigued into March Madness basketball. But how is that going to be determined? I think that's a big.
That's all. I mean, the only way I can be able to say it, it's all going to be up on NCAA's hands. I mean, we don't really know for sure. I mean, I've watched a couple of Kentucky Wildcats games. I mean, some games, have been canceled, but, they still play the other games. So I look forward to seeing what goes on, but yet it all depends on the whole situation. But yet, hopefully we'll figure it out come March Madness time. I mean,
while we're talking about college here, I forgot to talk about this yesterday between Georgia and Alabama, right? We watched the game on Monday. Here's the difference. You saw the players out of the Georgia and Alabama game. That was NFL stuff. What you saw that game was NFL caliber. You really think a team like Kentucky or a team like Cincinnati, who's getting into to those divisions or those conferences, or a team like San Diego State, like my team, San Diego State, you go get into San Diego State, and you compare yourself to Georgia, and I'm like, we're nowhere near to what Georgia could do, or at least how they look, really play. You wonder why Georgia and Alabama are the top teams in the NCAA each and every year, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's because the way that they present themselves is a championship way, and is in NFL style.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely very, very much the most interesting college football season yet. I mean, and I will say this, it was a really great season overall. I mean, we had Georgia winning the championship, and then we saw Cincinnati being pretty much the underdogs who, went up to Alabama, even though they didn't win. I mean, they played the hardest. I mean, they played against one of the toughest teams in college football history. Hey, that goes to show what's to come over the next couple of years because, here soon, Justin, you know about this, but there's going to be a lot of teams going to different conferences. I know Oklahoma and Texas, they're leaving the Big 12 to head over to the SEC. I know Houston's get ready to leave the American Conference to go to some sort of different conference as well. And, it all depends on, where all these other teams going to go. I love, don't get me wrong, I respect WVU, but ever since they joined the Big 12, it's not been really the best in football. Basketball, yes, but football, no, because they're usually mostly a football program. And I told people all this all the time. I said, think about this, because West Virginia not only has big rivals against Marshall or Pitt, but Virginia Tech as well for the Black Diamond Trophy. So why not we get a chance to renew that rivalry every single year? I'm saying put West Virginia in the ACC. Put West Virginia in that conference because that way, we'll have all these incredible games and yet WVU could be able to actually build as a football program that they need to be. And so, like we talked about before, what's going to happen with the college football playoffs? Are they going to be able to finally just expand the teams? I mean, from 4 to 12. We'll figure out later on, but yet it's going to be a very interesting couple of years, to say the least, in the college football.
Right, yeah. And I mean, when you look at like college basketball, like for San Diego State, I think you talk about those big games. It doesn't matter really who's in the Final Four, stuff like that. You want to see your teams, but when you think of expanding the playoffs, that's great and all. But now you start looking at, okay, well, a lot of these teams are going to have to start stepping up to the plate because, I mean, are you really worried about number 6? Let's say you make 12 games, 16 teams. Let's just say, hypothetically, you put 16 teams out there for NCAA tournament, right? Which I think would be a great opportunity. But if you think about who's going to be in the top 16, facing even like the top 10, do you really think that Michigan State and Alabama are going to be able to do battle one-on-one?
I wouldn't mind saying it. I mean, Michigan State.
I mean, we wouldn't mind saying it, but it's like, it's. I mean, I guess anything is given and anything could happen, but I mean, it's kind of like, Michigan State is not Alabama, and they're not at the performance level of Alabama. A Monday night
Well,
game.
I mean,
We saw an NFL game. We saw an NFL game back on Monday night between Georgia and Alabama. All those guys, all those players look like NFL pro athletes. You take a look at some of these other college teams; they don't look like nothing nearly like pro athletes yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll definitely have to see because I mean, there's a lot of teams that could be able to put on the performance if the college football community does expand the teams. Shoot, we could be seeing Appalachia State in the playoffs if we wanted to. We could see, all these. I mean, we could be seeing your San Diego State be able to make it. We could see, I don't know. Let me think. Boise State. I mean, all these teams have the ability. Yeah, I mean, either a Navy or even a Navy or Army team could be able to make it to the playoffs if they don't want to. I mean, it all goes to show of what the playoff committee can be able to do. But I'm all intrigued for it. So, I'm looking forward to see how it goes here in a couple of years.
Let us know. I mean, NCAA football. Do you guys like to see 12 teams in the NCAA playoffs? I don't know. I mean,
I really hope we do.
I think you'll bring more money to some of these schools too. Hey, because I mean, playoff game. I mean, even bowl games right now are not really like 15 years ago. That would be something worth playing for. A lot of people even sit out on these bowl games because maybe they're looking to get higher draft pick in the NFL draft that year. But
I mean, some of these games. I mean, like I will tell you this though. If I was NCAA, I would hope they change the names to these bowl games because what a terrible year. I mean, you had.
It's not changing the name, it's changing the concept behind it. Like if you made a bowl game part of the playoff for the college football playoffs, then maybe there's something a little bit more worth fighting for. But if you just randomly pick two teams, like I don't know, UC versus USC taking on NC State. Just for like a holiday bowl, really? I mean, other than maybe pride, what are you fighting for? There's nothing. You have 40 plus bowl games, and you're not really fighting for anything other than just pride. And it doesn't really do you any good if you're looking to be in the NFL draft, especially that following year. If you get hurt, I mean, if you play and you get hurt.
Yeah,
if you expanded the playoffs and you said, hey, put some of these bowl games in the playoffs, right? Maybe extend like 2-3 weeks prior and do playoff games. That's something completely different. You're now giving teams a reason to actually play and fight for something.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. So we definitely got a lot that we got to be able to check out. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'm looking forward to.
I will. I hate to cut you off, but right now we do have to get to some NFL news and break through this. Alrighty, so there was two stories that broke out, and one of them, I just want to give a shout out to ESPN is bringing aboard Yahoo Sports college football insider Pete Thamel to their team. So I want to give a warm welcome to the new Pete Thamel to ESPN.
Hey, real quick, I want to welcome in Kevin Dallatorre, someone from one of my teammates in the Hennessy Performance League. He is in the comments. He said there is nothing wrong with the bowl games. The problem is the attitude of the kids who have no loyalty towards their school.
But it's not about loyalty to the school. It's about, hey, if you're a senior and you're looking, NFL teams are looking at you in the draft picks the following year, right? I mean, you're not going to want to necessarily play. Plus, I mean, the integrity of these it's not about the bowl games. You're right. I mean, these bowl games are essential and they're fun to watch and fun to have. But if there's nothing you're fighting for, it's like the Pro Bowl, in honesty. There's nothing besides bragging rights that you're actually looking into.
Yeah. But sorry for interrupting. Go ahead to on with the NFL.
No, you're good. But yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Pete Thamel and congratulate him for joining the ESPN team. Kind of remarks back earlier today when I talked about the Kaplan crew over in San Diego joining that, being affiliated with ESPN. But here's the breaking news. Court cases finished off in Denver this morning. The rules have been adjourned that that the ownership does not have no longer part of the team. They can't own back the team. So now there is new ownership search. Guess the top two players or top two candidates for the Broncos.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So now the ownership for the Denver Broncos up in the air. There's a possibility. The top two candidates right now is John Elway and Peyton Manning.
What?
Yeah.
John Elway and Peyton Manning. What?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I did not know about this until now. What? Two of the best quarterbacks that Denver has to offer. I would hate to be in the voting committee for this one. I would hate to. I mean, John Elway, one of the greatest Broncos quarterbacks there is, and then Peyton Manning right off to the sunset with the Broncos in his final season to win a Super Bowl. Oh man, I know Dallas in here, but I like to know what he thinks about this. To me, the best ownership for that, to me, it's going to be John Elway. Because this is a man who has been around Denver pretty much, his whole entire football career, and he's won a Super Bowl with the Broncos, obviously, and he's one of the greatest Broncos quarterbacks there is. And then you also got Peyton Manning too, a Hall of Fame quarterback as well, who went from the Indianapolis Colts to the Broncos and won the Super Bowl. So I've got to say Elway on this one. Justin, what about you?
So I just want to give a little bit more content. So the headlines report Peyton Manning could be squaring off with John Elway for Broncos ownership. How that story broke out, basically, the Denver district judge ruled back on Tuesday that the Broncos are free of legal entanglement and can now be sold to the highest bidder. Therefore,
what?
Yeah. So there was a couple court cases coming out to ownerships and who thought they owned the team. Well, the court finally ruled saying that the Broncos are free of legal entanglement and can now be sold to the highest bidder. So as of right now, there is no owner to the Broncos, with the heirs of the late owner Pat Bowlen, right, unable to come to an accord on one of his children's assuming controlling ownership. So Pat Bowlen passed away. Well, I don't want to say he passed away. It stepped down. His children no longer has not stepped up saying, hey, we're controlling the team. Therefore, it's now coming up to the highest bidders. There's a lot of people in that list, but Peyton Manning and John Elway are the top two looking to seek report of ownership with the Broncos. I mean, Peyton Manning has still been kind of affiliated with himself with the Broncos over the last, ever since he retired. I mean, he's kind of still had a little ear inside the Broncos, franchise with John Elway. So I mean, it's going to be interesting. I don't know. I mean, John Elway would be nice. I just don't know if it's a long-term commitment. Peyton Manning would also be nice, but I think he also does a lot more outside with the NFL Network and all that stuff. The broadcast. So I don't know if he's, I think as ownership, you're going to have to maybe take a step back from all that. And I don't know if he wants to do that quite yet.
I mean, it all depends. I mean, it all depends on the whole situation. I mean, like you mentioned before, Peyton Manning does a lot of stuff outside the NFL with the telecast on ESPN too, and then obviously nationwide commercials. Mm-hmm. So I mean, Manning does a lot. So
he doesn't have to stop with the commercials, but I mean, I don't know about like telecasting a game that you're like, okay, Broncos and Raiders on a Sunday night, Monday Night Football, and then you're telecasting that also,
I think it would be like Eli Manning would have to be able to do something.
Now here's what they could also do if they wanted to. Elway and Manning could also split ownership. I don't know how that would turn out, but that's a possibility.
There is a lot of possibilities, but for Manning to be able to be one of those guys to potentially buy the Denver Broncos, I'm definitely keeping my eye on this story for sure. I'm definitely going to have to keep up a lot.
I actually came across my phone this morning while we were trying to get all the technical difficulties out.
And by the way, I got a question I want to ask you. Okay. What do you think about all these running backs who were supposed to be out for the season crazy enough, came back. All these players.
Right?
I
Well,
think it was JJ Watt came back for the Cardinals. Your
mhm.
boy Cam Akers returned for the Rams, and then here soon, here in about next week, Derrick Henry returns for the Titans. What do you think about all this?
There's a lot more going on. I think NFL is keeping it open. I remember, usually there was a cutoff date to qualify to actually play in the playoffs. But I think it's an open margin. I don't know how much of an effect that would actually be. I know the 5 Minutes of Fame segment you're going to do tomorrow, there's a story in there that really peels off a little bit more in depth of just, hey, let's hire anyone off the field, off the streets, and give them a shot.
Yeah.
But overall though, I'm not all that impressed by it. It is what it is. But hey, how ironic that there's hardly any COVID cases coming out now. Out of 14 teams qualifying for the playoff, there had not been a single report this week of a COVID case.
I'll say I haven't heard not one thing about a COVID case. So
Exactly.
Very good thought on that.
Throughout the NFL season, every week, and it's just I think one thing that's also downgrading in the NFL is that there's certain teams. Same thing goes with college. There's certain teams that are held that are testing 4 or 5 times a week. There's teams that only test every once a week.
Yeah, that's very, very true. And I definitely think we're gonna have to keep an eye on the NFL a lot, especially what's almost playoff time.
Trying to save all this for like tomorrow and Saturday because I definitely want to get Trey involved. But man, I don't know if we have enough time to. We got to start. We got a lot of back end stuff to talk about this weekend for sure.
We got a lot of
ever share with you guys the NFL the Sports Illustrated Top 10 WWE?
No, you never really got a chance to show us that.
All right, so let's step away because we're going to transition into wrestling. When we come back, we will talk more. I will share with you the Sports Illustrated top 10 of wrestlers of 2021. Yeah. I also want to talk a little bit about NXT 2.0, where the direction has been going, and I can tell you right now, I think it's finally better for business, if you know what I mean. Listen, I want to give you a little bit more take on ownerships and stuff like that, abandoning and quickly giving up on their own stars and talent and ownerships and staff. So stay tuned. That's still all to come. We're taking you up until noon here on the J Trey Podcast.
Speak with clarity, 'cause there's too much noise around us. Or maybe it's just me. But I'm just too tired to reach it. So speak sincerely. 'Cause I'm still waiting, for you to come around and save me. Will you stay with me? I'm lost in America. Around lately, the world seems to be the same. There's no room for the privilege and sacred, yeah. Oh, and I want to praise them. Will you stay with me? I'm lost in America. Will you stay with me now? 'Cause I'm lost in Well, when I woke up, she was looking at me. She told me I've been cheating on her in her dream.
Alrighty, everyone, welcome back to the J Trey Podcast. 2 hours on the back half of hour number 2 beginning here. Welcome everyone who's tuning in, YouTube. Thank you.
I appreciate
Listen,
Kevin Delator.
YouTube is the way. I say the YouTube is the way to go. Because
Yeah.
it's just so. Like, you guys can listen to it, it's great, but we get most of your interaction through our YouTube. So we thank you guys for tuning in, commenting, being a part of it as well.
Yeah, no, that's one thing I appreciate about Kevin is that Kevin, who's been one of my great friends since I joined Hennessy, always been supportive. So I appreciate Kevin for coming on by. I mean, a huge college football fanatic. I mean, big Penn State fan. So. Great job last night on the truck race, and definitely got more to come for the truck season in Hennessy.
All right, so I thought I went on air and I told you guys about the top 10 of Sports Illustrated's top 10. I know I talked to when I saw Brian Danielson, I was like, man, congratulations, you made it in the Sports Illustrated. I don't know how credible you would consider Sports Illustrated for wrestling because they don't really cover a lot of wrestling shows. But here's the top 10 for Sports Illustrated's wrestlers. Coming in at number. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I had to turn myself up. My apologies.
Okay, you're good. So coming at number 10 is at a Ring of Honor, Jonathan Gresham.
Very good, very good. Definitely.
Coming at number 9 is Impact, Josh Alexander.
Let's go.
Cody Rhodes is in at number 8 with AEW. Britt Baker is number 7 at AEW. Big E is number 6 with WWE. Coming in at number 5 is Brian Danielson. Coming in at number 4 is Shingo Takagi. Did I say that right?
Yeah, Shingo Takagi. But now
Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yep, now former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. After
number 3 is Bianca Belair. Number 2, do you want to guess?
Kenny Omega. Then Roman Reigns is number 1.
Number 1, yes. That is the Sports Illustrated top 10 here.
Yeah, I got a chance to check out some awards being announced. In PWI Insider. I don't know if you even heard about that, but there's a lot of awards being won towards mostly some of the AEW side. Jade Cargill won Rookie of the Year. Kenny Omega won Wrestler of the Year. CM Punk won Comeback of the Year. And get this, Britt Baker has won a lot of awards. Most Improved Wrestler, Breakout Star of the Year, and Match of the Year with Thunder Rosa at their match in last year, March. So congratulations to all those represent AEW for winning those huge, incredible awards.
Yeah. Let me ask you this one. While we're talking about awards, who should win? I'm going to ask you this. I feel uncomfortable asking this on the male side, but on the female side.
Yeah.
Who is currently an active wrestler? I want to be specific. Active wrestler. Who do you find attractive?
I never really thought that we had to have this question on air.
We gotta have this conversation on air, Bob.
The one wrestler I find attractive, obviously you gotta go
right now. Who's wrestling in WWE, AEW, Impact? I mean, is Britt Baker attractive enough to be your number 1?
Yes. Yeah. Between her and Mandy Rose, yes.
What about Liv Morgan?
Liv Morgan, I give her a 3. I give her a 3, but yeah, it's kind of really random. But
maybe it's because Mandy Rose dyed her hair black.
She looks great.
Blonde.
She looks great.
She looks amazing.
She definitely plays. Her style definitely plays in that heel role that she currently is right now, especially being the NXT Women's Champion for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely. Oh gosh, I like I've always had who I really think is cute too is I shot myself in the foot talking about this. Dakota Kai.
Dakota Kai, yeah. Also, don't forget. Also loved Chris Statlander too. Definitely a huge fan of Chris Statlander.
And tomorrow you, Trey, and I are going to talk about our wrestlers under 25, our male
Yeah,
wrestlers under 25, who we think are going to have an outbreak, who's going to be big name. One
yeah.
person that is not on my list, but is should be we should be looking out for her at some point. Maybe not in the next year or two. What about Zaya Brookside
Yeah,
from
yeah.
NXT UK? Remember, I think she is also a daughter of a Hall of Famer.
I think so. I mean, I could be
I don't
wrong, but
know
yeah,
who, but from my understanding, I know when she came up like 2 years ago, a year ago, she was only like 19 years old.
yeah.
Uh,
There's one wrestler who I really find who actually been really enjoying as of late. Probably the youngest AEW really has right now.
mhm.
Someone who fought in the main event last night for the interim TNT title. That'd be Daniel Garcia.
Yeah.
He's definitely the one that could be able to make a huge impact. I know he's got a big match at Terminus. I mean,
Mhm.
which by the way, congratulations to Terminus on the sold out show. Definitely can't wait to check out that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Daniel Garcia, I believe he has the ability to be able to make an impact
I,
anywhere he goes.
I would
I mean,
also say this: Mickey
yeah,
James doesn't seem to be aging,
neither her or Dustin Rhodes.
or Dustin Rhodes. I mean, it seems like they just get better as the years go on, and to see all the things Dustin Rhodes has gone through in his career, like
Yeah,
this is four. It's like this is four generations. This is 4 decades.
and
You
it's
understand
yeah,
that, right?
yeah, I mean, you also got to think about this. So Dustin Rhodes, I mean, he's had so many different characters from, originally he was known as Gold Dust to his time in Impact. I think it was like Black Rain, I believe. Correct me if I'm
Mhm.
wrong. And then to being Dustin Rhodes, I mean, the Natural. I mean,
Well, he started off at Dustin Rhodes when he used to tag with his father.
yeah, back in the WCW, then went over to WWE for being the Gold Dust, and then I think he went to WCW at one point, and then tried to play like this like Undertaker like gimmick.
They tried to change his character, and it didn't work out. He hated it.
And I'll tell you this though, there's one thing I'm really surprised about, and that is Dustin Rhodes has not held a title in AEW, and I really hope that changes soon
I
because
really don't think that you need it though. I just don't know if that commitment, that ability to stay up there. He already has what it is. I mean, it's like why hasn't Matt Hardy has a title yet? I mean, maybe he will get one eventually. I just don't see that Dustin Rhodes needs a title in order to maintain himself
I
on
mean
his run. I don't know. Maybe
I'll
tag title. How
definitely.
about that?
I mean, I'll definitely give it that, though. I mean, I will tell you this, though. To me, Dustin Rhodes is one of the greats, and yet, title or not, I mean, the man already showed in his first match of the new year that he still got it, and
Yeah.
Canadian.
And not only that, he's able to do it at the last second. Like he doesn't need a lot of time to prepare. He can just come out and do. I mean, you talk about like greatest guys, like even like Tommaso Ciampa. Dustin Rhodes is one of the guys that can have a wrestling match with the salt packet.
Yeah. So, by the way, so speaking of Tommaso Ciampa, so I did get a chance to check out something really interesting. So, Tommaso Ciampa and Pete Dunne actually made an
Mhm.
appearance on main event. So
Yeah.
that could be potentially. Yeah.
So,
I,
so this refers back to NXT because on Tuesday night, NXT finally cut off Pete Dunne after he lost to, I believe, Carmelo
al-
Hayes.
No, no, no. It was
Or
okay. I ain't trying to sound. It was like some sort of like Italian like gimmick. I forgot his
okay.
name, but it was like a crowbar on a pole match. I don't know why the heck
Oh, okay. Yeah. Um,
yeah. So it was that going on.
so here's the
But
deal. I can tell you right now, and it makes perfect sense after hearing this from other people. NXT 2.0 is now under Vince's control. This is what Vince McMahon originally wanted from NXT. And this is what we're going to see out of NXT 2.0.
Yeah.
And I honestly going to tell you, I think it's going to have a lot of success to what the actual WWE product is to bring to the table. And here's
Yeah.
why. Because what you're seeing, when you saw athletes down in NXT, they had one character. When you saw them get promoted up to WWE, a lot of them changed characters. For example, the Shield was not with the Shield up down in NXT. They were all in single, opponents.
Yeah.
Samoan Joe, Karrion Cross, is definitely a prime example. Bobby Roode, right? The glorious one. He's not the glorious one like we used to saw him. Shinsuke Nakamura, Andrade.
Yeah.
When
Andrade.
these are just
Ty Dillinger.
examples. These are just examples from when they were in NXT and then they got brought up. What
Yeah.
you're seeing happening in NXT 2.0 now is what Vince wanted to see. This is a now developmental division that is using guys like AJ Styles to create and help develop these guys like Braun Breaker. And what you're going to see is them going to prepare. You're watching them live, prepare to go to Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. Braun Breaker, he's not changing his gimmick. What you see on Braun Breaker is what you're going to see on Monday Night Raw.
And I will say, I will tell you this though, and I will admire the main event that happened this past Tuesday, Grayson Waller and AJ Styles. That was really, really awesome, and yet it went over the limit that NXT would normally do. But yet that's how much faith that they believed in for Grayson Waller for him to go to Raw and attack AJ Styles,
Right.
and then to be able to have this match going on. And
I
will
think we're going to see a lot more of that. We're going to see one or two athletes start picking down back in NXT just to help storylines. You got to think about it. There's developing athletes, and what better way to develop athletes than to have your top rosters, if they're not going to be utilized on the main roster, go down to NXT. Now, the only thing that I'm kind of skeptic about is because like AJ Styles and Omos is having a feud on Raw.
Yeah.
Like you intervene. How is that storyline intervene with the one he has down at NXT?
I mean, the thing is, I got some certain, but the thing is though is that I never even seen Omos in NXT at all. I never really saw him. So yeah,
I don't need to, but what I'm trying to say is that can you find a way to maybe feud those two storylines that AJ's involved with together?
I don't know about that. I mean, that's going to be really interesting for sure. I think AJ's and Grayson Waller's feud done now because now LNA finally returned and helped AJ, pretty much beat up on Grayson Waller. And there is there's two individuals I really look forward to this year in NXT. One being Joe Gacy and whoever he is that he's teamed up with, because I like Joe Gacy because I've watched him outside of WWE when he was wrestling for CZW and Evolved, and he has like this calm, peace character. Then he's with a guy that pretty much wants to destroy you, and then he's the one that's like, it's kind of like Jesse and Festus, if you will, but more like a dark, sick, twisted type of stuff. And there was one guy who I've always been watching a lot, whenever he first joined NXT. I've watched his time in Impact and I watched his time in PWG, that being Cameron Grimes. I've also been a really fan of his, and yet, he always said 2022 to the moon. He's trying to be able to go after that NXT North American Championship and Carmelo Hayes. I'm looking forward to it because
I think Cameron Grimes, after winning the $1 million
championship, against LA Knight.
Step for him. But here's my thing. Vince McMahon wanted a developmental stage. The black and yellow was kind of imitating their own brand for quite some time. Now listen, remember when Triple H was bringing all these up at Survivor Series? They dominated. They held their own. For quite some time, back under Triple H's authority, NXT was kind of presented as their own brand, away from what they originally were supposed to be doing. The original purpose for NXT was a developmental area for guys to come in and learn the ropes of how to be a WWE superstar. and then when they were ready, they get brought up through the channel. But what ended up happening was that they got, you got guys like Ciampa and the Undisputed Era. They were looking at themselves as a own brand, and when you now if NXT was beating the AEW in rankings, then I don't think nothing would have been changing. But because NXT lost the rankings, I think this was when the time. Vince like, listen, we're gonna strip it down. We're gonna do it my way.
The thing is though is like Joe, and yeah, I've said this I don't know how many times. To me, I really enjoyed the black and gold era of NXT because you had so many incredible storylines. You had so many incredible talent, Joe, at the time.
But what happened when those talents moved up to the WWE?
They went to nothing. They went nothing.
So what you're doing now is now showing controlling NXT again, and because here's the other thing is too, when you're in NXT, you're having all these great storylines, like if you were in Impact or if you're running an AEW, right, as your own brand. When you do all that, you come up to the main roster and they shut you down. I mean, where are you going? Well, all I'm saying is that AEW won the ratings, and Vince wanted to go back to the original idea of why NXT was created to begin with. And that was to showcase the developmental stages of creating characters. They had athletes, they didn't have characters. And now what you're seeing at NXT 2.0 is the clear version of what Vince wanted. And you have Bruce Pritchard, who's been close to Vince, who does things Vince's way because he has the same idea. And you're still going to get great shows out of them. But because you're not selling out major arenas, what you're going to, bring these guys up through the system, train them how you need them to be trained and how you want them to represent. And then that way, when they go to WWE, they're going to be what Vince wanted to begin with. Instead of Andrade becoming his own character. That's what was happening. He was becoming his own character and not what Vince wanted.
Yeah. I felt like, and there was a story that I think not too many people really know about. So whenever WWE tried to be able to get Adam Cole to join the main roster, Adam built, his character for such a long time. I mean, it took him a long time for him to be able to build his character. And I was listening to his interview on the Jericho podcast, and he said that Vince wanted him to change his name, 2, change his catchphrase, and 3, cut his hair. And then, for him to be teamed up with Keith Lee, and he was like, no. No, and he said, "Well, can I at least stream on do my streaming on Twitch that he loves to do?" And he said, "No." He said, "You can't do that." And and Cole said, "I'm not really a fan of these ideas because I built this for a reason. I built the Adam Cole baby because it interacts with the fans, whether if I'm a heel or if I'm a face. It doesn't matter. It still gives fans to be involved."
Well, not only that is that now he could take that what he's created around him on his promotion. Like, yeah, you're right. WWE has the tendency of controlling and being a control freak, but I think that comes with this fair shares. But I don't know. Maybe the WWE is in that move of the direction, and hopefully they are, because we're seeing the forbidden wall being brought down, right? But NXT 2.0 was designed to have talent star on a product that was to develop them to get ready for the main roster. That kind of got sidetracked because since in the black and yellow when Triple H took over. Not saying they did a terrible job. There was many phenomenal things coming out of NXT black and yellow, but because they are not winning the rating review from AEW, then they're Vince is like, okay, we're going to break it down. We're going to do it the way I need to do it, so that. You also think about one of the reasons why you're getting rid of half your roster is so that you can bring up the talent that's down there also.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I really felt like the black and gold brand was just perfectly fine, and yet the whole developmental system. I mean,
I don't think that it would have done anything if you kept it around. I think it would have been perfectly fine. Financially, it would have been perfectly fine. I just think the idea of where WWE is headed and the Vince's vision, this is clearly what it is.
I mean, I feel bad as far as like those who went from the black and gold brand and who are still currently in the roster. I'm pointing out to guys like Ricochet, talking about guys like Nakamura. Shoot, some of the guys. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but out of all the gimmicks, the one that's been really, really good. I can't believe I'm saying this is Austin Theory. I mean, the same Austin Theory who was supposed to be like this typical like heelish like wrestler goes out and after every match takes a selfie. I'm like, bro, like, and then you ruin.
Now, is he doing that better than what Tyler Breeze was supposed to be doing?
Yeah, well, I enjoy Tyler Breeze with the whole like fluffy selfie stick. I didn't mind that. I mean, I didn't mind that.
He was more of a paparazzi.
I mean, it was. Like he was trying to be like this, like this famous celebrity gimmick. I get that. I mean, shoot, if you see Tyler Breeze going out to the ring and he had that little selfie stick, they had a Titantron of him walking out to the ring while he's holding the selfie.
He's actually, I mean, Austin Theory is actually doing more of a social media gig, because he's posting everything up on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, and I definitely do enjoy that. I mean, there's been like a lot of great memories with the NXT Black and Gold brand.
You're right. It's a good brand.
I don't think you know about this, but you ever heard of the name Jushin Thunder Liger?
Mm-hmm.
One of the greatest
for WCW. One of the greatest wrestlers.
One of the greatest junior heavyweights of all time.
Mm-hmm.
What you don't know about this, but his first ever actual like WWE match was in NXT, in the very first ever NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, when he took on Tyler Breeze, and it was just like simply awesome, and like because to me that's memories that live on forever.
I get it. Listen, I mean, I'm not saying that NXT Black and Yellow was a terrible product. No, it's just what's going on is that obviously you're seeing WWE struggle, right? You're seeing them struggle with selling out arenas. You're seeing them struggle with getting people to tune in, and this is part of that change. And it's not gonna be done overnight. It's not gonna be next week. You're gonna, this is what you're seeing. You're seeing his great eyes and what Vince wants to be done. But you are going to start seeing what Vince McMahon wants out of NXT, what he originally wanted out of NXT. And what he originally wanted was this. He wanted a show where you could present the stars and how they are developing. And I mean, listen, I'm hoping. I'm trying to keep an optimistic mind out of this, right? And I'm hoping that you do the same thing, and the fans do the same thing as well, because I do believe that something good is going to come out of NXT 2.0, and that may be a Braun Breaker who may be up on the main roster by the end of the year, maybe by WrestleMania.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see that for sure.
We will. All right, so we got to take our last break of the show. When we come back, we'll wrap things up, taking you to probably 12:10 right here on the J Trey Podcast.
nah, nah, no. Yeah. Oh, I can't let him take my soul. Nah, 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 no. Yeah. I can't let him take my soul. Nah, 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 no. Oh, I can't let him take my soul.
Hey, Jake. Do me a favor.
See, we was cool
Yes.
right before it hit your fist.
Tell the people once again how they can win a free autograph of Brian Danielson.
God forgive me for all my
Plain and
sins.
simple, you need to go to our TikTok at TSD Sports Talk. Make sure you guys head over to the pinned post, leave a comment, and make sure you guys share the video, and of course, don't forget to follow us. That is your chance to be able to enter into our giveaway. We will be announcing the winner we'll be announcing the two winners on the day of the Royal Rumble event, which we will probably be having an early stream before the big event. So definitely want you guys to check that out. Head over to our TikTok at TSD Sports Talk and be able to get a chance to enter to win not only one autograph, but for two winners to win two autographs of Brian Danielson.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys like this, we could try to. We're working in progress. We're working on trying to do giveaways quite often. So we'll see what comes up.
You definitely can't wait. It's going to be an interesting one.
All right, how are you doing?
I can honestly say, I with all this like broadcast and stuff like that, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted, to say the least.
Oh my goodness. I mean,
And
listen, I will write a broadcast all the time.
I got two races I got to do tonight. Which, by the way, look for in case you guys missed it. I do broadcasting for Hennessy Performance League outside of Thunder Valley Race League. We had our first truck race last night, and then tonight we have the Xfinity race at 7:20. Make sure you guys head over there, and of course after the race, it'll be the Cup Series. So you got a lot to look forward to. Glad to get a chance to get the NASCAR Series back up and running, and then tomorrow night at 9:55. Tomorrow night, we'll be having our F1 series race 2. It's going to be a great one, and I need so much body armor for this energy I got for this broadcast. It ain't funny. I need so much body armor.
You need body armor, Mountain Dew. You need some
energy drink. I mean, I need all the energy. If I need all the energy.
I mean, well, that's the thing. Like last night, I got home. I was on the phone with some people I didn't talk to, but I think I watched Good Will Hunting from start to finish for the first time. Like, I've seen the movie, I've seen bits and pieces and all that stuff, but I actually got to see it. It was very, very good. Very good. I know it's an old movie, but such a classic. All right, I dare us, because I really like him. I sent you and Trey, I don't know if you saw that music video or that song.
I've seen it, yeah.
We don't have to do it this week. We don't have to do it this month, the next month, but at some point we need to interact with that song. I know fans are going to hate it. I know people are usually going to be like, this is torture, but I think we need to do an entire segment on just playing that song, start to finish, and giving our just reaction to it.
You're asking a lot. I think Trey is gonna immediately grab that, and he'll grab his little sing mask, put it on, and shame. I bet you Trey will do that.
So, if people don't know, it's the Bob Dylan's "Murder Most Foul" song that was written back in 2020 because of the pandemic. It was about the JFK assassination and the pandemic. It's 17 minutes. 17 minutes song. Just listening to the song. It's a little soothing, to be honest. I don't think people will actually, I don't know. What do you think? You think we could pull this off as a segment?
You really want my honest opinion? No. There's no way.
Can we come together for one segment and just do it? Which one's worse? This song or that one terrible worst Christmas song ever that you listened to earlier?
Oh Lord, no, not that one again. Not that one again. No.
So
Don't play it. Don't play it.
I'm not playing
Play
the
it, play it.
entire song. I mean, anyways, listen. I just think. Listen, we have a chance. That's only 30 seconds. There's 17 minutes of that. And
Only
this was
thing.
him during the pandemic that just he sat there and just sang the entire time. Like he didn't write it down. He just
Yeah. Well, with me, as far as like the music, I'm actually looking forward to. I mean, last week, The Weeknd released a brand new album, and this week, one of my favorite bands, Skillet's got a new album coming out. I am really looking forward to this because like I remember like every time whenever Skillet released a brand new album, I always like pre-order it and then get excitement because I've always like been a Skillet fan. So be able to get for them to release a new record, it's definitely an exciting one for me. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow, or probably tonight because it released at midnight. So yeah, that one was off of that one is Feel Invincible. Uh, I think that was off of the album maybe Resilience. I think.
yes. That was also the I want to say that
I
was also the album to the one of the AEW pay-per-views. I want to say
yeah, that was for I think it was for 2016 Battleground. They actually had Monster for I think that the 2010 Hell in a Cell pay per
what
view.
about no? What about AEW's last? What was that last pay-per-view in November?
The
That
last
one
pay per
was
view
actually.
was we talking about with the bands that they have.
No, what was AEW's soundtrack for the last pay-per-view they had at the end of the year? What was it?
They
It
didn't
wasn't
really.
100. It
I
was.
mean,
It
they didn't
wasn't.
really.
It wasn't.
I mean, it was full
What,
gear, but the bands I can tell you that does get involved with AEW. I don't know if you heard of the band I Prevail. I Prevail actually did a theme song to the first ever Revolution
he did. I
coming.
know. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. I had a blank moment. Here they
That,
did.
are you talking about the band that does some of the wrestlers' theme
Oh,
songs?
Skillet did. Remember this song?
Yeah,
This
Victorious.
was. This was Full Gear. This was the soundtrack to Full Gear last
Really,
year.
I did not know about that. But I mean, the more you know. All I know is I know the bands that do get involved is like Downstate, which does Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega's theme song, and I know obviously Fozzy does Chris Jericho
Right.
stuff, and so and one thing I like about AEW is like they're not afraid to be able to reach out to bands and to be able to bring us some of the stuff because like and no offense, no disrespect to WWE, but it's like some of the stuff has always like been like pop or like rap related. No, and I mean I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. But yeah, if you're sitting in the crowd, you want to be able to get pumped up. You want to be able to get hyped. And whenever they bring in songs from like Shine Down,
Yeah.
Cut the Cord to Skillet to I think they actually had AC/DC be one of the theme songs back in early, like maybe 2009, I believe, and as well as Metallica. So, like
Yeah.
anytime it's like AEW like wants to be able to hype the crowd up, they will make sure they do so. Especially with Chris Jericho's relationship with Corey Taylor from Slipknot, to many different incredible bands. Um,
I
there's one
love
thing
this
I love
song.
about,
I'm sorry. I love this song. I just love
but
Jungle Boy's entrance.
if there was one thing I loved about Triple H, and I'm pretty sure you might know this, maybe others don't, but Triple H is a very big Motorhead fan, so that's why you always had Motorhead, you hear Motorhead playing for his theme song, and so Triple H always, always asks artists, "Hey,
Yeah.
can we use your music to be the theme of our of our shows. And let me ask you the question: you heard of the band Slipknot, right?
Oh, what?
You heard of the band Slipknot, right?
Yeah.
So back in 2019, their last album, the last album, Slipknot released a album called "We Are Not Your Kind,"
Yeah.
and Triple H asked for it. He was like, "Hey, can we do your song Untainted to be the official theme song to one of the takeovers?" And Corey Taylor, who has the most amount of respect to Triple H. Hang on, turn that down real quick because this gets really interesting. So what that I loved about the show was like you hear the piano starting to Unsainted.
Mm-hmm.
It's pitch black. It's pitch black in the arena. We all thought, wait, is Slipknot there at Takeover? But no, but they show the intro to the Takeover show, and then they had before they changed it to NXT 2.0, they had Slipknot's All Out Life being the official theme song for almost about 3 years. Crazy enough, as crazy as it sounds. And I'm hoping with AEW and with Chris Jericho's relationship with Corey, maybe he'd be able to get some Slipknot stuff over to AEW. I wouldn't mind that. I mean, who wouldn't want to listen to Before I Forget? And by the way, I feel so old because this year here in 2022 makes one of the most iconic records that Slipknot has ever released, who has ever made. The album Iowa is going to be 20 years old. Iowa.
Yeah, we're old motherfuckers. I say that.
They're crazy. I mean, and I think those are still like pretty much the oldest members in the group. Clown, Mick, Jim, Corey, Sid. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just very, very crazy. And definitely want to send a shout out to my brother Matt for hooking me up.
Well, hey, listen. I think a lot of WWE songs, though, they wanted to. This was part of the controlling age. I mean, Jim Johnson did a lot of the WWE music for.
Without doubt, yeah.
Like he's probably one of the greatest composers when it comes down to creative music because he did all the dynamics of everything that they did. I mean, they did have some outside contracts. I mean, what's that rock band that did the Undertaker's "Keep Rolling"?
That was Limp Bizkit.
Yeah,
Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
So crazy thing is that now I want to be able to share my music knowledge. Which crazy thing is, Undertaker had Limp Bizkit for Rolling. Mm-hmm. Edge had one of my favorite bands, Alter Bridge, for Metalingus, his current theme song he's been doing since 2004.
Right.
Red Theory does Randy Orton's voices.
Right.
And I think that's about the only current band.
I think when WWE did a lot of the music, they took those musics and then Jim Johnson kind of made it his own. Like they're not. If you go back and actually listen to the songs of these songs, and then you listen to the entrances, Jim Johnson has a little taste of it. You know what I'm saying? Like they used it, but then they twisted it just a tweak.
I mean, Jim Johnson was like such an incredible person when it comes to making the music. I mean, if you heard Austin's theme song, The Rock's theme song, the Undertaker's like, he had
to do that with an organ. I mean, that was just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's simply phenomenal. I mean, because that's how much he puts into the music. No matter what gimmick he had, whether if it was like the Dead Man gimmick, which outside of like the whole Rolling gimmick, if there was like one of my favorite like Undertaker themes that Jim Johnson has ever done, it would be the Ministry of Darkness theme. That one was sick.
I like the American Badass one.
Oh, you're gonna pay? That was a good one too. That was a good one too.
That was my favorite one. Out of that, but here's the thing. I mean, over the character. I mean, the Undertaker changed gimmicks but kept the same character. I saw a tweet the other day. Like, if you had to remove one, like one of the top stars, if you had to erase them from WWE history, which one would it be? And I think the options were like John Cena, The Rock, Stone Cold, Edge, Triple H, The Undertaker.
Shawn
Michaels, And a lot of people said The Undertaker. I'm like, I wouldn't erase what he did because I feel like he's one of the most loyal person to the WWE, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like, he never broke kayfabe. He was like, you think about all the gimmicks that everyone had to do. Oh, I could just probably sit here and talk forever about The Undertaker. I mean, for me, I feel like The Undertaker belongs on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
Yeah, I can honestly say, like, if you watch some of the documentaries, he would actually dress up like all in black every day, no matter where he
Everywhere he
went,
went. Yeah.
just to keep that gimmick. And I do want to say
But
this,
he
though,
did
I
that for
admire.
20 years, though. Like, all the charity work that he did was kept in hidden silence. There was a moment in time that where he did more Make-A-Wish Foundation recipients than John Cena. But yet again, John Cena took the credit for it because The Undertaker was never known for that. Like, you wouldn't go, because of his gimmick. His gimmick didn't say, hey, let's go out to the hospitals and meet fans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If there was like a great list, like if I had to pick like my top 5 like greatest wrestlers of all time, Undertaker's my number one, plain and simple, because
Yeah.
he was always the man that always put his body on the line. He was always putting himself on there, and that gave us probably the most amount of WrestleMania runs there is.
And I'm
I
not
mean, you look,
digressing. I'm not saying that, hey, listen, no one else has, fought with broken bones and whatnot. I mean, but
yeah.
I'm throwing it out there. Like, I don't know. When you want to talk about loyalty to Vince, you want to talk about what he did for a character and try to keep up. I mean, he went over to SmackDown and kept SmackDown running for years after the
Yeah.
Attitude Era was kind of dying down. I mean, he kind of took range on that with JBL and
One of my favorite rivalries, during 2007 was his rivalry with Batista, and to me, that match alone was just a prime example of how much he was willing to put his body through. Then you get to the matches, his WrestleMania 25 match against Shawn Michaels, but
well, you also
possibly
made me
one.
think about take a look back, and I know we got to run back on time because we're at the end of our show. But you take a look at I know Shawn Michaels and Triple H had a great feud, that long feud. But the Undertaker took a whole year feud with Randy Orton and developed him. I don't know if Orton would be the same character he was today if he didn't have to encounter the Undertaker's one long year feud.
And I will tell you this, though, and yet people don't really realize this, but yet during the feud, they actually had a Hell in a Cell match at Armageddon. That's how much
Mhm.
Taker relied on Orton, and for them to have that match back at WrestleMania
From a
21. I
person
mean,
from a person who never showed up to WrestleMania rehearsals to having
yeah.
one of the greatest, careers in RKO really helped because the Undertaker shaped him up. But listen, we're at our 2 hour mark. We thank you guys for tuning in. If it's on YouTube, we thank you guys for listening. If it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, check us out on social media at TNC Sports Talk. We will be back again tomorrow. And we're gonna have some more fun tomorrow, right?
Absolutely.
We got Saturday. Good luck tonight. Have fun tonight.
Hey,
Good luck. Where can
don't forget,
people watch you tonight?
Right. Hey, don't forget, Riley Matthews will be joining us on Sunday. We got to be able to get those questions right. Riley Matthews, Armchair Booking.
Tonight. Where can people?
Oh yeah, Hennessy Performance League tonight, live on the YouTube channel. And make sure to head over there, Hennessy Performance League, 7:20 Eastern Time. Make sure to tune in for the Xfinity race.
All right, you guys. On behalf of Jake and I in the StreamYard studio, we thank you guys. You guys have a wonderful day.